preschool. that's that's like preschool. I mean, what's the point? Okay, you're born, okay, or you come into this world. You're the delivery room. You're born, okay. You're a human. You're here now. But now what? Is this the condition that you? Man, I mean, maybe it was a tough delivery. Yeah, the baby was like breech, and you see the movies, doctor had to go in there and reach in there and turn the baby around, or maybe the cord was wrapped around the baby's neck, or whatever the issue was. It was a very difficult delivery, but now finally the child, the baby, this human is delivered, and bam, he's crying, and I got the airways cleared out, and counting all the fingers and toes, and the baby looks and is exactly what it's supposed to be. But now what? Is that it? That's how we are oftentimes when we become born again, Okay, I believe, I accept, or whatever. And now what? That's it? No, you're just born. You're here, you're human. You're born, you're there, and you're okay. But now what? Now it's time for growth. And it seems that that's what we don't do. We don't grow. We don't know how to grow. And we're being discipled by people that don't know how to grow either. We're simply passing down the same stuff that brought us into this thing. And I'm telling you, one of the issues that we have with this are our children. They're not falling for it. They hear us talking the talk, but they don't see us walking the walk, okay? And they're like, well, why should I be? Okay, I understand you're old. What else have you? I mean, they look at us like we're really old. If you recall when you were a young teenager, old was 25 years old. So, they look at us, like we're old and all. And that's fine for you. Your life is over, And basically that's how we thought too, if you're really being honest about it for the most part. But we really need to begin to exercise this relationship with God. And our lives will begin to change. See, positionally, we're fine. When we realize the position that we are in God, when we realize that the kingdom has come unto us and that we accept that, positionally, we're fine with God. But man, we still got a whole lot of our issues, and those are the things that need working on. Connecting to God and exercising that relationship, and your life begins to change. And most of the time we don't. We just continue down the same path. As long as we make it to church on Sunday. As long as we talk about God every so often, around people, it doesn't matter what our lifestyle is. And what I'm telling you, positionally, you might be correct. And positionally, yes, you'll make it to heaven and all. What I'm saying is, what kind of effect are you having on those that are watching you, especially your children? See, this is what discipleship is all about. Discipleship. We all disciple. We're all disciples of someone, and we are all discipling someone. That's why you believe what you believe. That's why you act the way you act. I tell the young people sometimes at detention, you think you're in here because of something that you decided you wanted to do. But no, that's not true. Your rationalizing process, your thought process, the way you process things, the way you think, the way you respond, all these things were passed down to you. All these things were generated and in motion even before you were born into this world. Certain attitudes, certain traits, certain proclivities and bents, positive and negatives. These things were started by your parents and their parents way down the line before you even came here. You came here gleaning and being discipled and receiving certain personality traits, certain character traits, rationalizing processes. All these things you gleaned from the people who were discipling you. See, we think sometimes, that we can disciple people. We can have children. And I'm going to tell my child, don't get high. Stay off of drugs. Do right, and all this stuff. And I'm always telling my child from the beginning, do right, don't do drugs, blah, blah, blah. Always telling him what to do. But all this time, I'm drinking. I'm getting my buzz on every night. I understand it's only a beer, 3, 4, 5, 6 beers a night, but don't do drugs, and make the right decisions and all, While this child sees me, the child is listening to me. And the child is knowing what I'm saying. Okay, I'm not going to do drugs. Dad says I shouldn't do drugs. But what that child is gleaning from you, what that child is being discipled, are not the words that you're speaking, but the child is gleaning your personality traits. So as much as this child knows that he shouldn't do drugs, because he sees you drinking, He's gleaned that particular personality trait from you, and he probably will do drugs. He probably will get high because you have discipled, you have affirmed that it's okay to get that buzz. You've also affirmed that it's okay to jump in the car when you got that buzz and run down to the store to pick up some milk. So this child recognizes that, yes, okay, I know I'm not supposed to get high. Yes, I know that if I am high or drunk, I'm not supposed to be driving, but unless there's something I need, like some milk. So what have you discipled the child? What does this child glean from you? A lot of negativity, a lot of the wrong things. So we don't realize it, but we are really messed up. And we think we're okay. And then we wonder when our child goes awry what happened because we goofed. So what I'm telling you, I guess in a nutshell, is we just need to reevaluate what we believe. I mean, we look at the Bible and we love the Bible and we embrace the Bible. And I remember when I was praying, and I remember when I first came in this thing, I was praying about 20 or so years ago. I was praying for this breakthrough. I needed God to do something in my life. And I had to have the Bible in my hands and embrace the Bible. And I was in this church once, and some guys were praying for me, and they were trying to take the Bible away to set it aside. And I was like, no, I have to have the Bible in my hands. It's not like that. God is God and there is no other. And instead of simply, and it's good to look at the stories of the lives of the people in the Bible. It's good to see what God did in their lives and how he did it. Their responses, negative and positive, and the consequences, negative and positive, because we could recognize that and apply those principles to our life. We can see how God responds to certain situations and recognize sometimes why things are going wrong in our life and how things could be better. Your right choices bring right results, wrong choices bring wrong results. Sometimes because of our upbringing, we don't even realize some of the things that we're doing are so harmful and so detrimental. So the Bible is very necessary. And the prophetic scriptures and the teachings of Jesus, man, if you can just live by the teachings of Jesus, you'd be all right. Basically the teachings of Jesus were simply two things. Love God with all of your heart and love each other. And that's it. And we go into all these things, the types and shadows, and 6 means that, 7 means this, and blah, 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 candlesticks, and 7 angels, and 7 churches, and all this stuff that, come on, man. Love God with all your heart, and love each other. That's what Jesus said. He said if you can do these 2 things, everything else will take care of themselves. If you love God with all your heart and love each other. So just embrace the words of Jesus and look at the rest of the Bible as very informational and very instructional, but don't put that on God. God doesn't need any help. God is God, and there is nothing that man can create that even comes close to God. Okay? Now, we'll probably continue down this path another day. But what I want to close with is maybe, we look in the book of Acts. And we see the early church. And we see what the things that they did and the lives of the people and how God dealt with them and all. To me, I was talking to this brother once. He's a pastor from Philly. And his opinion, which I've adopted, is that the book of Acts never finished. It's still going on. It's still coming to pass in your life and in my life. So what's the story? What's the story of your life? It's contained in the book of Acts. I know not in the Bible that you hold, but it's contained in that book that's being written every day, that historical record. See, we spend so much time studying the lives of the people in that Bible. And because our motivation is that this is the Word of God, and I understand that. But we need to recognize that our lives are just as important as their lives.